What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another week of Hero or Zero here on the Heroes for Hire podcast. My name is Shaun, and joining me, as always, is toothbrush thief, Mr. Ciara Lawler.
I just love cleaning teeth.
Yeah, I don't think that's the toothbrush thief's whole deal. But
sure, if he's stealing toothbrushes, does he not want them all for himself?
I was thinking it was so that other people's teeth would be dirty, but it's your improv. I don't mean to step on your toes.
It feels like you're stepping on my toes.
I'm just saying, do it right.
It's like, it's improv, there's nothing wrong, but what you did there was not very good.
I just look, we'll write it out. We'll do it line by line. We'll say what you're meant to say. That's how we'll improv it this time.
Give it a yes and. Give it a yes and. Keep going.
Yes, and Connor, this is Hero or Zero. Now, would you like to tell everyone what this show is all about?
So, Hero or Zero is the show where we choose one comic book character every single week, and we talk their good points and their bad points, and we just generally give you a bit of a rundown of everything to do with that character. Now, I normally do DC, and Shaun covers Marvel characters because he doesn't like himself, I could only assume. But this week... but that's nothing to do with Marvel. But last week I did Vixen from DC, so Shaun, it is your week. And so I'm excited to hear what ridiculous character. They'll never make money, those Marvel guys. Whoever you've come up with here.
Yeah, now, Hero or Zero, famously, the one show every couple of weeks that I have to put any work in.
Yeah.
I have to think of a character that I like and do a report on them. Didn't even have to do it this week. This character was sent in by a friend of the show, listener, Kieran Culwick. Thank you very much for sending this in. This was a character that I knew a little bit about, and then I got an excuse to do a deep dive on it. So, this week, Connor, I am covering The Spot.
The Spot?
The Spot, yes.
That's the...
THE Spot.
No, that's the Spot. That was improv. That was improv.
Yes, and? Yes.
Yes. I'm throwing all the gold out.
But, so The Spot, a.k.a. Jonathan Owen, and I'm just going to give you a bit of a rundown of him. So the first thing to know about him, Jonathan Owen earned his doctorate at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, where he was roommates, Connor, with Quentin Beck.
Quentin Beck,
famously...
Very mysterious man.
Very mysterious man. That was good. Failed actor, Mysterio. And so basically Jonathan Owen got a degree. I think it's in engineering or something like that. Vague science stuff.
I mean, I think a lot of Marvel, a lot of characters all have doctorates. Like, there's so many doctors, but they all... I think I even read sometimes that they're like, they all went to the same college or something.
Yeah, it's like MIT and NYU, and then, like, everyone has gone there, basically.
Yeah.
So, as a scientist, Jonathan ended up working for the Kingpin, Wilson Fisk. So, Dr. Owen was assigned to reproduce the powers of Cloak. Now, Cloak, who we might have discussed before on Hero or Zero, character who's able to channel the Dark Force, meaning he can teleport...
Famous from Cloak and Dagger.
From Cloak and Dagger, exactly. So he can teleport himself and others through dimensions and into anywhere. So the Kingpin is quite keen to find this out.
Okay, makes sense, because Kingpin is always like, what, you've got a cool power? I want to use that to make money. Yeah,
now look, it's a whole background thing. Basically, Kingpin's wife, Vanessa, she's very, very ill. And so the project started out, they were trying to use Dagger's powers of healing. But then Jonathan Owen accidentally created Cloak's powers. So they were like, let's run with this for a while.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, so working late one night, he succeeded. He created a solid black circular portal. In doing so, the drain on the city's power became so great that a blackout washed over the city, causing the portal to start to destabilise. Fearful of losing a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, Jonathan stepped into the portal.
It's always the worst plan.
It's the
Quick, into the portal.
if this man of science went to MIT, essentially creates a black hole in a lab, and just strolls into it.
Like, of the two steps, it's destabilizing. If that's your first line, and your second thought is, better quick jump into it before it destabilizes further, you're not very good at science.
No. And so, once he stepped in, the shock of the entry caused him to pass out.
Makes sense.
It does make sense. He awoke floating weightlessly in a strange dimension. Now, he initially thought that this was the dark dimension that Clarke could access. However, he soon realised that he was in a different dimension, a place of half darkness and half light.
Right.
There was a seemingly infinite number of portals surrounding him in this place, all in the shape of black dots. Now, this might remind you of a DC Comics character that you've talked about before, Mirror Master.
Yes. That's the first thing I thought of, that he goes into the mirror dimension and he has millions of, basically every reflective surface in the world he can come back out of.
Exactly, and it's very similar. That we'll get to him. The Spot, he can enter this dimension all of his own, and he can access any of these black holes that he has.
Right.
He managed to find the original portal that brought him into the dimension and slip back through it. So he's able to. What that establishes, basically, he's able to enter and leave as he pleases, but he has to leave through the same portal that he came in.
Okay, interesting. I think Mirror Master has that in terms of if he brings someone else with him, I think they have to leave through the same mirror, but he can leave through every mirror.
Yeah, it's kind of similar. It's not really a huge plot point, honestly. Okay. I'll get to it later in the report, my thoughts on the Spot, but we'll get to it. So, Ohm emerged back into the lab. His body had undergone a radical transformation. The portals from the other dimensions had adhered to his skin, covering him with black spots from head to toe.
Oh, okay.
It was like he didn't even have a mouth anymore. It was just all black dots, basically. Realising that the spots were portable space warps.
Every time you walked past the scientists, by the way, they were like, quick, jump into him! Quick in! He just kept
stabilising.
He just kept getting tackled to the ground by other people.
This is our one shot. So he realised they were space warps. He started to think that he might be able to use them to defeat anyone in battle.
Whenever they start thinking that is always a bad start.
That's true. So his whole thing is that he wants to... This is a really fucked character motivation, by the way. It makes no sense.
Okay.
He wants to set himself up as like a villain for hire, like a henchman, so that he can fund his own research.
That's the opposite of us.
He's our enemy. So that he can kind of come out from under the Kingpin's thumb and go out and make his own money. He doesn't realise he can just teleport into a bank and stake the money.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, no. You know what one of the worst parts of comic books is when they create a character like with a really cool idea, but then he thinks real small scale. However, that can be also quite fun. What was the Ringmaster?
Oh, Ringmaster.
The Ringmaster was my favourite character of all time because he was so bad. Couldn't he convince anyone of doing anything?
Yeah, he could basically mind control anyone he met.
And all he wanted to do was run a circus. So, I love the idea that the Spot has the ability to rob every bank or get anything he wants, and he's just like, I'll be hired out as a mercenary and work for other people until I build up enough funds to start break out on my own.
Like, he doesn't have that enterprising spirit.
He's not an entrepreneur at all.
No, not at all. So, in the meantime... Black Cat recently made this is just a background because the Spot just kind of pops up in the comics, and then he's not around for a very long time. So basically Black Cat made a deal with Kingpin that she would do a job for him and he would get her powers. We did in the report, he gave her bad luck powers. So anyone around her experienced bad luck. Now Spider-Man hears about this, that she made a deal with Kingpin, and he's not pleased.
No.
So what he decides is that they're both going to go and confront Kingpin and get him to take back the deal.
I like the idea. She's like, just leave it. No, we're going to go see him. Right? Now, Mr. Kingpin, you're after doing bad things there.
And so the Spot figures, if I can defeat Spider-Man, I'll be able to defeat anyone.
Class. Good thinking. Think big.
Think big. So the Spot revealed himself as Spider-Man landed on the roof. He announced to Spider-Man, I am your new enemy, the Spot.
Great start. A fantastic start to any battle.
Spider-Man collapsed on the roof, laughing at the name.
Which makes sense.
It really does.
You're called Spider-Man. Like, come on, dude.
Like, this is where, like, the Spider-Man laughs at the Spot, and from then on, he's basically seen as a joke in Marvel Comics, and the writers have never really changed that, except for one story I'll touch on. But they just kind of don't know what to do with him.
Because he's, like, super powerful, but he's also
ridiculous. He's ridiculously powerful.
If he's covered in black holes, and he has access to all dimensions, I think that's pretty that's like godlike power, but they put it in an idiot who doesn't quite understand how to use them.
Yes, and he could be such a terrifying character, but they never use him right. But anyway, the first time he fights Spider-Man, he does win, by virtue of the fact that Spider-Man can't land a hit on him, because any time Spider-Man punches the Spot moves a black mark on his body and makes Spider-Man punch himself.
Okay, that is fucking great, first of all. Yeah. And that is a really good fight. And I'm assuming if he does that for that one fight, he never loses any fights.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
Because, of course, Spider-Man has to win in the end. Now, what I will say is the Spot does occasionally throw punches at Spider-Man. And they always land, because he can make the punch come from anywhere. And until that black circle appears... he can make the black circles appear in midair, by the way. That's just a thing he can do.
Oh, for God's fucking hell, okay.
Until that black circle appears, Spider-Man's spider sense doesn't kick in.
Oh,
so he doesn't know where it's coming from.
He is Spider-Man's newest, biggest villain.
The thing is, the Spot is just a regular man aside from the fact he can do that. So he is the strength of a regular man. So
he's punching this like God, just with like really little weeby fucking punches.
It's like he just can't. It's like he can punch him all day. He's not going to hurt him.
that reminds me of The Incredibles when Dash is like dodging, and then he punches the one guy, and they're on like the flying saucer thing, and he punches him once, and he's like, "Ha!" And the guy's like, "You little kid." It's just like, "I'm so powerful," and he slightly punches Spider-Man. Oh wait, no effect. Right, no. But I cannot be beaten though. Ha!
So it's a stalemate, really. The reason he lost in the rematch against Spider-Man was because Spider-Man tricked him. He tricked him into throwing too many of his spots around, and so the Spot didn't have enough to defend himself with. So all the spots on his body, he pulls those off himself to throw them. And once they're gone, they don't reappear. He has to go pick them up and put them back on.
Is there anything sadder than a guy running after something he's throwing to pick it back up?
So... after this defeat, Owen lost confidence and he thought himself unfit to be a supervillain.
I mean, you came up against Spider-Man. Start lower.
On day one, he's had his powers about 4 hours at this point.
Like, just face somebody else. Like, even fight Black Cat. She's pretty good, but she's not Spider-Man. Like, Spider-Man is Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you went too big too soon. Like, work your way up.
It's like becoming a hero and then being like, I'm going to fight Galactus. This is it.
So many years later, the Spot reappeared. And this time he had teamed up with lesser regarded villains called Grizzly, the Gibbon, and Kangaroo.
Lesser than him?
Lesser than him.
Oh, tough crowd.
Yeah, so they formed what was called the Spider-Man Revenge Squad. they had all been basically beaten by Spider-Man.
I mean, this is not going to go well. Four idiots.
Connor, just because they're also known as the Legion of Losers does not mean that they're not going to win.
They had to, but sometimes you have to win to then understand what a loss means. So maybe they won once, and then they went on a bit of a losing streak. Is that what you're going to tell me?
Well, look, what I'll say to you there is that they went to rob a bank, they ended up fighting Spider-Man, and it seemed like they won. But for a very simple reason, Spider-Man threw the fight, because he was hoping to inspire Grizzly and Gibbon into becoming good guys.
Of course. Like, he thinks so little. He's just like, yeah, okay, right, I'm just going to throw the fight and hope for those two to become good. But also, they're going to be shit good guys. But it's better than them robbing banks. What can you do?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, they rob the bank, and then what happens is Grizzly
like charity.
And Gibbon... It really is. Grizzly and Gibbon turn on the other two, and they're like, we don't want to do this. And they come and they just give the money back to Spider-Man.
Because he's so, like, that's so obvious. And then I suppose the Spot's like, guys, come on, I'm his biggest villain. I have him on the ropes.
And this is the kind of the trend for the Spot stories for a lot of it, is that he's a joke, he's an idiot, he's seen as a not very capable villain. There's one story in particular that I really like. It's what happens basically, the Spot has an ex-wife and a son. The son is injured in a drive-by by the Magia. He's just like a bystander who gets hurt.
And the Magia is the Mafia in Marvel, but Stan Lee just changed the letter.
Yeah, they didn't want to anger the Mafia back in the day.
Stan Lee's big into Mafia.
So you have this story, and it's just the Spot going around and taking out like leading members of the Magia using his powers.
That's a cool story.
Yeah, it's fucked because he can pull someone's arms and legs into the dimension and just leave them hanging there while he like cuts their throat. Like,
okay, right. So what you're telling me is like he's so powerful.
He should be unstoppable, but they don't know how to write him, or they refuse to write him
because he could be unstoppable.
But yeah, because how do you beat that? Like, and thank God they built in that limit that like he has a certain number of spots he can throw. But when he's just like, he goes around, he takes out all these Magia members. He doesn't speak the entire comic. He's just like this force of nature, just on a mission. He wants revenge because his son got shot. But
that's really cool. And that's like the most interesting story.
It's it's so much better and then after that story, he goes right back to being an idiot.
That must have just been one comic book writer that was like, we can make him really cool. And then he wrote that story, and then they were like, yeah, but we're just going to go back to making him a joke.
Exactly. And I'd love to see him get like, do you remember Jack-O-Lantern, who we talked about? Where he started off as this goofy kind of character, and then he got this really dark, horrible version of himself. I'd love to see that happen for the Spot, that he becomes like this weird body horror dude.
Why doesn't he just become a mercenary?
I don't know is the answer. Like, he does occasionally, but he always is either killed straight away or just gives up, that he decides he's not in it anymore.
That's so interesting for a character that powerful to be written out of comic books. It screams of, this is a really cool idea, especially because like it's very Mirror Master vibes, and Mirror Master is really powerful. Who we've kind of discussed him here on the show, but I think he's more powerful because I don't think Mirror Master can throw the mirrors and like have them hang in the air.
Yeah, he needs to. He goes where a mirror is. He can't.
And so, he pops out, and what he can do is he can grab you and drag you into the mirror dimension and just leave you there. And so the idea is like, he's the Flash's villain, he drags the Flash in, and then it's like, now Flash, you've got 1 trillion surfaces and you have to find the one you came out of. Okay, bye.
Whereas like with the Spot, it's, I pulled you into this dimension. There's one door you can leave through, and then here's a billion other identical black dots that you can pick from.
And so is he not like a main villain of Cloak and Dagger then?
Not really. No, he's. I'll be honest with you, Connor, he's on kind of the same level as like 8-Ball is.
That is mad. That's fucking mad.
He just hangs out in the bar with no name, and just until the story needs, oh, here's a goon that looks kind of interesting. He was on a version
weird.
of he was on a version of the Sinister Six at one point, but again, he was the comic relief, I think. So it's like, just make him fucking interesting.
I think he could beat Kingpin in a fight.
Yeah, because he doesn't need to. He just needs to put a big portal at his feet, and he's gone.
Like put him halfway down, and then 2 portals at both arms, and then just walk around killing people.
Yeah, just slitting throats.
Fucking hell. That is such a wasted opportunity. I mean, he's a shit character because they do nothing with him, but it's one of those that he's only shit because they make him shit.
Yeah, like he's compared a lot to Polka Dot Man as well in DC.
I don't know about that.
Well, like, not in terms of like quality of character, but in terms of he's a character based around spots, I guess.
I suppose it is a dumb what's the outfit like?
It's like it's not even an outfit a lot of the time. It's like he's just a bleached white with black dots all over him. He actually looks really cool. It's a really like striking design. So like that's a cool part about him. Like if Deadpool works, this dude should work.
Yeah, if Deadpool he should be Deadpool. Like he should be going around killing people. You should follow him killing all these people that have wronged him. Or he could even be like Deadshot. Or just some dude that goes around just taking people out.
Yeah, just like he's a mercenary and he just does what he can't be stopped.
Can he put the portal, say, on their arm and then like close the portal? So it like closes off and it chops off their arm or something.
I think he can, yeah.
Fuck.
Or like he moves the portal. Like,
oh my god. Jesus Christ.
Like, onto powers and abilities. There's only one really. And it's teleportation is like how it's described. So being exposed to the spotted dimension, the spot's skin has been bleached white and dotted with warps in space. The spots can transport things or people to another area by way of passing through the spotted dimension and coming out in another place. He can teleport himself or extend parts of his own body over various distances, as defined by his spots. He has the ability to move the spots all over his body or take them off and place them somewhere else, even suspending them in mid-air.
Fuck.
He specialised in physics as a scientist, and he has the normal strength of a man of his size who engages in minimal activity.
Right, minimal activity.
Yeah, and his weakness then, he cannot throw an unlimited number of space warps because he draws on the ones from his own body. Spider-Man defeated Spot when his own body was mostly white.
I mean, it's hardly like the biggest weakness to say the sentence, he can only throw a certain amount of space warps. Oh yeah, alright. Can he throw one? Sounds pretty good.
He has about 60 on him, like.
Yeah, I think that's enough space warps for any man.
I think that'll do, yeah. And then this on his 1 to 7 rating system, he has a durability of 3, energy projection of 0, fighting skills of 2, intelligence of 5, speed of 7, and strength of 2.
Intelligence and speed are off the charts.
Yeah, they're really good. And like, if he trained at all,
if he lifted a weight just for a little bit,
go train with like some villain for a month, he will be such a capable character. I'm really looking forward, because I have a feeling they're going to do him up, like in coming comics, that they're going to do, oh, here's the Spot, but he is like a force to be reckoned with. He's not a joke character anymore.
Yeah, no, I think that would be, like, I suppose it's the case of, if you're a joke for long enough, there's always going to be another writer that comes in and they're going to be like, we can make this character cool. Yeah,
because and you've heard it like for 25 minutes now. You see how that character can be better, right?
Potential. Just pure potential of just making him... He shouldn't go up against Spider-Man, but also he could defeat Spider-Man by just trapping both his arms and his legs and then he can't fucking go anywhere.
Yeah, and like you can't land a hit on him either.
No, like if he just trapped Spider-Man's arms and his legs and so he can't move, and then you just get a big comedically sized hammer and just keep beating them over the head with it, eventually you'll win.
That's true. Like, and it's sad to say, but that is how you would win. And it's not, might not be the most interesting story to watch, but
but I want to see it.
Correct. No, I would recommend anyone, like, even just go on Google Images, because there is pictures of the Spot, like, killing those mercenaries, and it's a completely different vibe to when he was introduced back in, like, Spider-Man number 97 or whatever it was.
What year was that?
Let me think, because it was around the time that they were doing the whole black suit Spider-Man thing. Okay. Spider-Man 97, The Spot. Because I think it was like Spectacular Spider-Man number 97 in 1984.
He's been around a while.
Silver Age. Yeah, been around a while and is due for a fucking revamp, I would say.
Absolutely. No, I think that's a very, very cool character, but also annoying that they're missing the boat.
Yeah, but again, potential. You know, it could.
I want to see him fight Thanos. Him v Thanos would be good.
It'd be a pretty decent fight, I would say, until Thanos just, like, won, because that's what Thanos does.
Yes, boss. Do you want me to take us out, Shaun?
Yes, please, Connor. Thank you.
So, if you'd like to support the show in any way, we do have a Patreon, and over there we do lots of movie reviews and series reviews. We recently finished up on our Falcon and Winter Soldier review. We also did a Wolverine Origins review. We've covered The Incredibles, which is a movie we've talked about here. We've covered, I don't know how many movies at this stage, but if you give $5 or more a month, you get access to basically every movie review and every TV show review we've ever done over there. You can go back and listen to the whole catalogue. Otherwise, you can support the show by buying some of our merch. We've got that over on our Spreadshirt. That is down below in a link. Most importantly though, you could give us a follow or a like on whatever platform you're using this on.
Ooh, please.
Likes are always very, very welcome, even if it's 3 stars. Just tell us something that we could improve on, or tell us we're great. Either way, whatever way you feel.
Constructive feedback.
I don't mind. Tell Shaun he's shit sometimes. That's not constructive, but that's fine. More destructive towards Shaun. And then you could, as I said, give us a like and follow any podcast platform you're listening to. Give us a follow on any social media, so Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We do have a Facebook group called Detective Divilman's Discussion Group, if you want to join that. All that stuff is linked down below. But most importantly, just tell one human being that we exist.
Just the one, please.
So, I have been Conor Lawler.
I have been Shaun Meehan.
And we'll see you next week, guys.
Bye.
Bye.